Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 24th of March episode of this fantabulous live stream. I set no subject because I wasn't sure whether or not we are discussing this tonight or next week. I don't know if everyone who is going to read it has read it yet, so I figured I would put up a poll to see who's read it. I mean, who's going to read it and has read it versus, So I'm going to say, discuss Chris's book tonight. And if not everyone has read it, then we'll just talk about it next week. Okay? I'm going to leave this poll up for 10 minutes. It is currently 21:17, so at 21:27 we will decide whether or not to talk about the book. In the meantime, I'm bloody glad not to have my bass in my hands tonight. It has been a hell of a week or two. Let me just sort of see who's kicking with us, and then we can I'm not feeling particularly well today, so we'll see how well we get on here. Popping in at 9:09, we have Mr. Country Boy. For God's sakes. Come on, computer, work with me here. Work with me, computer. Computer. Okay. So yeah, we have Country Boy, who is a channel hero and a channel mod, by the way. We had Christy right behind him, who's a channel hero. And then we had Fitzy, otherwise known as Destiny. There's Canadian popping in with the usual emoji. And there's Mr. David the Instigator, who, by the way, is a channel hero and a channel mod. And, of course, David corrects himself. Canadian says that Top Shot is for people who forget toilet paper, although you're number 3 right now, mister, so, don't know about that. I mean, hey, whatever, right? Chris is here. Chris, by the way, is a channel mod, and he's saying, everybody from Louisville, Kentucky. Is it warm down there? Is it warm up here? Oops. Just let me check my weather. It is currently -1 degree Celsius, but it feels like -8. So it's not bad. Excuse me. Oh, so tired. Destiny's saying happy belated birthday to Christy. Canadian was in Montreal on Saturday. What were you doing here on Saturday? Should have looked me up. I mean, during the day I was I was relatively busy, but I mean, you could have seen my band play Saturday night. Well, not our usual fiddler, but still a good show, for sure. Let me just check something here. 34%. So yeah, what were you doing? What were you doing in Montreal on Saturday? Excuse me. Dave is asking if Peanut Trucker's at the truck show. Is that what's going on in Louisville right now? Mr. Mark is a short timer tonight. I mean, you're clocking out early. You got somewhere to be. You working early tomorrow? I took yesterday off. Yes, I took yesterday off. I mean, because Sunday was like, it was an 11-hour gig. I was not feeling well yesterday, let me tell you. And like, so on Tuesday I did a 12-hour gig and just slept until like 10:30 or 11 on Wednesday. I took that day off as well, of course. After the gig on Sunday, I went to bed at 4 and I got up at 6:30 because when I got home, the madame was still up and working. So I kind of felt that I couldn't really justify staying in bed until 10 and letting her handle the morning if she was going to bed actually a little later than I was. So I did not feel well yesterday. I tried to take a nap, but forgot about it. No way. Last night I was in bed by midnight. Tonight I will definitely be in bed by midnight because I am wrecked. Steve Ground's in the house. How you doing, Mr. Steve? I hope you're doing well. Oh, Jim popping in to say Audi. Gotta put your phone back in airplane mode on the island of Curacao. Okay, yeah, well, enjoy. Enjoy massively. So just how was the St. Patrick's gig overall? Well, there were 4 of them. Well, there were 2 specific to St. Pat's, and then there were 2 regulars, right? Because St. Patrick's was on Tuesday. The parade was on Sunday. And then in between the 2, we did our usual Friday, Saturday. Peter couldn't get here for the gig. Well, I mean, he could, but his shoulder is wrecked and he's waiting on surgery. So we used both of our fill-in fiddlers, actually. Went well, although, like, I practiced every night for the week and a half leading up to Tuesday, and then every night -1 between then and our Friday gig, and then we played again on Saturday, and then all day Sunday. And so I have picked up the most agonizing case of tennis elbow. This arm is just killing me. So I'm going to have to deal with that. I will not be practicing this week, that's for true. St. Patrick's gigs are fairly high octane. And Friday night, I think the fiddler and I were sitting at the upstairs bar trying to get like a quiet moment, and right next to us there was a wicked fight broke out. Something conjugal. Some girl, woman, she was probably maybe early 30s. I don't know what the hell her boyfriend said, but she just flipped all the way out. She was like, I can't believe you fucking said that, and blah, blah, blah. And she flipped the table. The pints went everywhere. One of their friends got a pint glass in the nose. And she was just yelling and screaming, and just like, and so the bouncers went over, and they were surprisingly low-key about it. Like, instead of just grabbing her and hurling her down the front stairs, they sort of said, okay, you got to leave, but what happened here? She's like, I can't believe he said blah, 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 blah. And so, I don't know. I mean, she had to leave. They all left. But apparently he had, in fact, said something instigationary. I mean, there's a fight every year. There's at least one. I think there was another one this weekend, too, but it was on a different floor than us. But yeah, parade day is awful. Like, somebody had already puked in the bathroom sink by like 5:30 on Sunday, and just like, Sunday really tapers off around 10:30, 11 though, whereas Tuesday goes all the way, because by the time you're at the end of parade day, if it comes after St. Patrick's Day, if St. Pat's is the one that comes later, then this is true of the actual St. Patrick's Day. But whichever is the one that comes second, the last couple of hours are really low key, because the only people left in the bar are the diehards who are drunk and sad and just leaning on the table and like, it's not over yet, so I'm not going home. And the band is wrecked as well, and the staff is just done. So, the latter part of Sunday was lower key, and the bouncer said, "Look, cut it at 1. Cut it at 1. Everyone wants to go home. We just want to close this floor." So we did. So, we got to leave an hour early. But, I mean, we didn't. Because what we do is, when the echoes of our music from the last set are still echoing, we pack up our stuff and then we sit and have a pint or a dram at the bar. I mean, bar's closed. They're packing up, but they always give us a drink. We sit there and we just sort of enjoy the silence. Sunday I took a taxi in because I figured trying to find parking. It's 21:27. Okay, so 62% of you said that we're going to talk about the book. Is there somebody here who wants to read the book and hasn't yet? Because I kind of feel that I'm going to end the poll. Let me finish what I'm talking about. And because so many parking spots were closed all week due not only to the parade but also to like road work and blah blah blah, I was almost late to Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday because I was circling for an hour looking for parking, loving the carbon footprint, Except for Sunday, I was like, you know what? To hell with this noise. I'm just taking a taxi. But yeah, they were good. And we learned like 10 new songs to play with these two fill-in fiddlers. I mean, why not, right? All very cool stuff. Lots of it was a lot of work. In fact, one particular was a shit ton of work, and it still kicked my butt. But I'm glad it's over. I mean, the bands play the music for the love of the music, but nobody does the St. Patrick's Week slaughter for the love of the music. That is that's your cash cow. That's not being entirely fair. I mean, you're still doing it because you enjoy the music, but it's a hard slog. By the time you're done, you're usually sick. None of us got sick this year. I did not split any of my fingertips, which is nice. Didn't get blood on my bass strings. But yeah, I did love being home alone yesterday. Nobody around, nobody making noise, nobody falling on the stage. Good times. There's Mr. Mike. How you doing, Hikey Mikey? I don't believe I just said that. How are things down in Florida tonight? You warm, you cold? Hey, Bedo's here. How are things down in Brazil tonight? Are you warm and cold or cold? Scrolling. Peanut Trucker says no warmth here. Been here since Sunday. It's been cool and windy. It's truck show week. Did you take down the Smokey and the Bandit truck? I think you said you were going to. Or was that the last show? Country Boy is still having supper. Oh. I made tortellini for supper tonight. I went to Johnny Prosciutto and Bertucci stores. Do not know what either of those are. Picked up some vittles. Gotta have some vittles. Okay, people's just sort of saying hi. Stuff, add, okay. Destiny's asking Christy what she did on her birthday. That's an interesting little question, isn't it? Rented an Airbnb for a week and just relaxed. Johnny Prosciutto has the best Sopressata and Cacciatore, if you're wondering what a Johnny Prosciutto was. Yes, I was definitely wondering what that was. Cajun says, alcohol plus anything usually equals trouble. Yep, that's true. Hey, Carol's here. How you doing? When I got there on Sunday, so we were setting up so we started at 2, so we had to be there by like 1 to start setting stuff up. And so I walked into the bathroom, and there's 2 guys standing at urinals, 2 guys in the arsenals. One is taking a pee, and these guys all sort of seem to know each other. And like, he's like, "You got a problem with your prostate?" And the guy who's taking a pee in the cubicle says, "I like to pee." And then whoever it was in the next cubicle over sort of said, it's like, okay, I got to get out of this bathroom. It's just way too surreal in here today. Christy says we should wait until we're 100% ready to talk about the book. We don't want to ruin it for those who are not done. I agree. That's why I'm saying, is there anyone who will be or is reading it and hasn't yet? That's why, like, I don't want to. If there's even one person who's like still working on it, then I don't want to start the convo tonight. BJ and the Bear, right truck. I was in the right era. Our booth is the Smoking the Bandit truck with a Trans Am. Really? Okay. That's cool. Chrissy is asking a camping related question. If you bring booze on a camping trip and store it in a titanium flask, titanium? That doesn't sound right in English. Titanium flask, will it change the taste? Not sure about that, but I mean, I know you probably don't want to be bringing glass. Glass is the only thing I know will not change the taste. Some people swear by a Nalgene bottle. I've actually had pretty good experience with a Nalgene, but not with like hard liquor. My luck with Nalgene bottle has been like, iced tea or other things, but like, I'm not sure if hard ass booze is gonna like etch the inside of the plastic or whatever. As far as flasks go, I mean, I've used stainless with good effect. You don't want to leave your whiskey in a stainless flask for too long because it will start to sort of interact with the inside. But I don't know. I feel that logically it should be okay, but I wouldn't go to the mats for that statement. Chris says we can wait till next week when you feel better. That might actually be a good idea too, because then I'll be able to bring my brain to the conversation a little more. Christy just had 3 ads in 12 minutes. Why? Why is this happening? Christy, didn't you have the same problem last time? There's Russell. How are you doing? I wonder if I can go to edit video while this video is running and check that out. I'm going to try it. So if I disappear, somebody let me know. Okay? I'm trying to save, but I don't know if it's working. So if I turn it. Okay, so let's see. No, don't discard changes. Save the damn changes. Set ads to every 30 minutes because any more than that is... I don't know if that worked. I don't know if that worked. Let me just try it one more time. Let me know how it's going, Christy. Let me know how that goes. There's Paul. Oh, Paul, here's what I'm having at 10 tonight. I love this bottle. This is one of my favorites right here. The Redbreast 12 cask. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I'm having like one because I have to cut back on my alcohol intake, says the doc, and B, I after St. Pat's week, I don't want to be pounding drams. So what are you having tonight, Paul? What's everyone having for whiskey time? I think Russell's having his usual. Oh no, I've blanked on it. Is it the Gibsons you usually? No. I keep blanking on stuff. It's awful. Destiny is asking Russell, how's Ray? Got into the vehicle, I presume? That's the funniest thing. I'm just taking a look. Yes, they did get into Ray's vehicle. Canadian says that titanium will not change the taste according to Kevin Callan's latest video. Oh, okay. That's cool. 3 hours and 12 minutes. That's just way too much. Kevin asked Google and it gave him the answers. Okay. I mean, it's good to know. I don't think I could afford a titanium flask myself. But it would be really cool to have one. Canadian, the flasks I've used haven't changed flavors in my experience. Also, you've got like stainless, I guess. I have a stainless one, and I almost never use it though. I almost never have the context. I use them like if I go camping, but I haven't been camping this year. But like I'm not. Going to the St. Patrick's Day parade with a flask in my. Actually, I haven't seen the parade in like 20 years because we've been playing at the pub. Homie in the house. How are you doing, mister? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm awake barely. Also, people use Ziploc bags for parks that don't allow glass. Oh boy, a Ziploc bag. That is brave. That's like raw dogging it. David's having H2O tonight. Oh, I have H2O as well. I didn't have time to make tea. Unfortunately for me. Oh, wow. How long has that been on? Give me a sec here, peeps. There we go. We've been having the Jameson. I have never tasted that. I did. So at the end of our gig on Sunday night, we sat at the bar, and the fiddler asked for a Jameson and ginger ale, and they were out of Jameson, which tells you what kind of week they had. But they did have the Jameson triple. And so she had that. My guitarist and I each said, can we have a shot of that? Because we want to taste it. It's actually pretty good. Like, I think it's much better than the normal. The vast majority of the Jamesons on offer are better than the standard, except for that IPA one. That makes me dry heave. But yeah, Jameson Crested. I will look it up. There's Mr. Tenenbaum. How you doing, mister? Montpellier from the can tonight. From the can. We're being adventurous, Destiny. Destiny, do you have a charcuterie board going on? You haven't told us about what the board is for tonight. Oh, that was so painful. Jesus. Oh, I really hate this. Yeah, I wouldn't spend $300 on a flask. No way. But I don't know. I haven't seen the video, so I don't know anything about what he was talking about. Homie says, big Bark River controversy. They closed, admitted to using fake Chinese steel on some of their latest models. What? Do you have a website that I can share about that? Because Bark River disappearing is big frickin' news. Like big news. Wonderful. I would look it up if I wasn't currently talking to you guys. I don't want to be clickety-clack and away over there. Well, that's big news. If oh, it's all over YouTube. Okay, I'll take a look for it a little later, and we may have to discuss that at an upcoming episode. You know what? Bark River knives. Bark River knives, semi-production cutlery. That's weird. I'm looking. I am looking. Canadian has to send me a picture of something he saw at the Berkichi store. Let me just take a look. Is that you? Did you do it on the Book of Faces? Here we go. Oh. Viagra del Calabrese. What the hell does Viagra mean? I mean, aside from the blue pill. I don't. I'm at the Bark River website. There's nothing there. Like, it doesn't say that they're closed. Bark River Collectors Association. Events. I'm looking for knife news. I mean, I don't want you guys to just sort of watch me looking this up, though. Can someone see if they can find some news about this? Mike Stewart, I guess he's on YouTube and talking about it. Fitzy says, charcuterie board tonight. Swedish saffron buns, better half made, delicious, and a bag of Cadbury mini eggs. That will cost way too much. They are so expensive. I could not. I saw a big, like one of their big honkin' bags at the grocery store, and it was way over 30 or 40 bucks. I was like, nope. Oh, and pizza crusts. Nice. Canadian got 3 more ads? What's going on? Lussacate. Those are tasty. I don't think I've ever had one. They don't sell them at IKEA. 2146. Yes, it's a 12-year, so I will pour the. It's a 12-year, so I will pour it now. I am going to be very sad to see the end of this bottle. Ow. Oh. Okay, I will use this hand. The pain. And I'm pretty sure it's because I was like literally practicing every night for a couple of weeks, you know? Oops. Hold on. So yes, it is now breathing. Thank you. Open that link that Tenenbaum just dropped in a new tab. Bark River commits fraud and out of business by sharp ends. I will watch that later, as I'm sure will several of you. They might in December. IKEA might have the buns in December. They are associated with St. Lucia Day. Okay. Chris says, if people have read it, I put the AI fake movie premiere on YouTube if you want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. Several people have though, and they liked it. Destiny says to Tenenbaum, we got the recipe from Christopher, who is a chef from the Cecilia Blomdahl YouTube channel. They are from Svalbard. Great channel. But Svalbard is in Norway. Though some would say it's not actually in Norway, but it is absolutely in Norway. Because of Svalbard's bizarre international status, which they should probably just end. Although it means I can move there if I want to. Jerry sent me some... it's a screenshot of the sharp ends. Oh, and there's another one. Mike Stewart admits to using Chinese steel. That will be very interesting to take a look at later. I'll probably have to do it tomorrow, though. I got to be in bed by midnight tonight. Bark River is one of those brands that I've always kind of like wanted like maybe a gunny or something, but I just couldn't justify spending the money because I've already got too many knives. Right? I've told you guys time and again that I don't want to have like 30 knives. You know, if I'm going to be buying any knives at this point, it's like it's got to be a couple those ones that are sort of in my bucket list. Who is it who makes that the Kephart that is like they have an original Kephart and they just copied it exactly. It's a K-Bar, I think. It's like a company that you wouldn't think would put out a K-Bar, but a Kephart. But yeah, that looks cool, for sure. Chris says that Destiny's spring weather is still down there. She wants to go and get it. Destiny got cold rain today. So we had a gorgeous Saturday, and then on Sunday it was cold and snowing, and our fiddler was on one of the floats in the parade. And as it passed Crescent Street where we were playing, she just jumped off and ran to the bar for the gig. Ow. I just went ding, but I don't know why. Oh, but it's because my damn phone's in sleep focus. Tabersnooch. Right, let me turn that off while we're... Okay, it's a link to Knife Time with Uncle Junk, revisiting the Bark River Knives debacle. I will watch that later as well. Tenenbaum, I had occasion to do the math. I sold more than $5,000 of knives in 2024 and 25. You were selling some cool stuff too. There was at least a couple there that I would have liked to have purchased if I'd had the money. Tabersnooch. Absolutely. You know what, let's talk about this Bark River thing. Like, I don't know anything about it yet, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head. I'm not going to talk about what did or did not happen. But I will say that Bark River had an image, right? It's an image that is pervasive in American-made camping tools, right? Like you can practically see the stars and stripes all over the inside of their workshop kind of thing. Like if Council Tool admitted to using cheap Chinese steel and went out of business, that would be freaky, right? Because you look, you see Council Tool, and that's like, well, they're the last of the Americana knife axe brands still in existence, right? I mean, okay, they're technically they're not the only one, but they kind of are in a lot of ways in terms of still putting out a quality product, right? And it just seems weird to me that Bark River would do something like that. That's why I'm looking for news online. I like something from whatever's their local newspaper would, because I mean, if they've gone out of business, that's going to affect that town, right? And so that's why I'm looking for Yahoo Finance. Michigan knife maker closes shop after admitting to using Chinese steel and labeling it USA made. Oh my God, why? Why? The Mining Gazette. Ouch. Oh, got something in my eye. I'm so emotional. Bark River Knives is a manufacturer in Delta County. I don't get it. Homie, why? Like, did any of these YouTubes, or did they say why? Why they in several of its models, even though the knives were labeled and marketed as CPM 154 steel. I'm sorry, this is not what I was expecting tonight to this. Okay, this Yahoo Finance, it's actually from Outdoor Life. I'm going to share this. Guys, give this a quick look through, because I think this is what we got to talk about, because I am shook. I am shook. Which models? Bark River's owner, Mike Stewart, made the announcement via Facebook on Monday and said the company had concluded all business as of Friday. Stewart also took full responsibility, saying it was 100% his fault and he'd made the cost-cutting decision to keep Bark River in business. Oh, okay, so they were hurting, and so he was trying to save some money. Oh my God, this is not the way you do it, Holmes. Stewart made the post amid fierce backlash from knife buyers, dealers, YouTubers, and other critics. He did not respond immediately to a request for comment from Outdoor Life, and it's unclear what exactly led him to decide to confess, I guess, though rumors had been spreading online in recent days. It is clear, however, that the LLC behind Bark River has been in legal and financial trouble since before the start of this year. Oof. January 14th, Alt Bank, a financial lender based in New York, filed a commercial and trade contract lawsuit against Stewart Knives LLC, that's him, accusing the company of defaulting on loan payments and breaching their agreement. A separate but similar lawsuit was filed on Friday by another financial lender, Life Fund Solutions, and it accuses the company of additional breaches of contract. Okay, so they were circling the drain, and he was just trying to desperately to keep the company afloat. But Stewart also admitted on his Facebook post on Monday that his decision to use Chinese steel was part of an ongoing mismanagement on his part. He wrote, among other things, that this closing was long overdue, and he should have done it more than 2 years ago. He's now likely to face legal repercussions for these deceptive practices, along with additional class action lawsuits from buyers and knife dealers. Please do not blame Leslie Stewart or Jim Stewart for any of this, Stewart wrote in Monday's Post. In addition to my mismanagement, the choice to use an alternative Chinese steel was my choice, not anyone else's blunder. Bark River's big. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mean big like it was a 1,600 person company, but I mean that name means, or I guess meant something in the bushcraft world and in the survival world. This is disgusting. And I'm not saying that in the knee-jerk, everything Chinese is bad way. I'm not. Most things Chinese made for Western audiences are bad because we don't like to spend money, but marketing something as all-American and not using all-American product, I'm let down by this. I mean, he's probably let down all the way. So the guy was probably not managing the company properly. He said it was mismanagement, and probably maybe years worth of mismanagement was starting to pile up. It sounds like I'm making excuses. I'm not. I'm trying to figure out why you would make that decision. And I can see why that would seem like an easy decision to make. Okay, so if I was selling a bunch of knives, like if I had a knife company and suddenly things started to go south, here's what I would do. First off, trim back to 3 or 4 models only. Period. Trim back on my options, but Bark River charged a premium because they were like all American. So you can't trim back on all your options. You got to have some premium stuff there, right? But let's look at Apple Computer, okay? In the 90s, Apple was hemorrhaging money. It was in the red. It was doing terribly. They had a bazillion different models, and each one used a different case design. So when Steve Jobs agreed to let Apple buy his current company, Next Computer, in return for him coming on as ICEO, the first thing he did, as part of the whole toss out Mac OS and replace it with, I mean, essentially, it's to simplify massively. They threw away the original Mac OS and rebuilt it based on OpenStep, which was the operating system of his current computer company at the time, Next. It was a Unix-based. A Mac OS is Unix-based. It's got a command line that's the same as, a BSD or Linux or whatever, which you don't ever have to look at. But I sometimes like to because it makes me feel like, oh, computer, tough guy. Not the point. First thing he did was slash all these different case designs and blah, blah, blah. It went to one case design, 4 models, nothing. I mean, one case design, and then there was a laptop kind of thing, right? And then brought out the iMac. NASA immediately bought 1,000 iMacs, right? There was no floppy drive. Perfect. Oh, it runs on a Unix layer. Perfect. But because here's the thing. If you have 12 different models and they all have different cases, the manufacturing cost is huge because you have to maintain 12 different sets of molds and everything, right? If you just drop it back to you've got one case design and the different models are all in the stats, you're saving massive amounts of money on manufacturing. That lesson can be ported to anything. If Grantsford Brook was suddenly in trouble, and I owned the company, I would immediately drop their 5 least successful models. Now, for transfers, least successful models probably doesn't mean that nobody's buying them. It just means that everybody's buying the damned small forest axe, which you can't see, but it's on the wall right there behind me. But lying about your product, holy shit. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Speaking of product, this is not Chinese made. This is Irish whiskey. So the cast strength means that each time you buy into it, because I mean I've had this for 2 years, it's a different ABV because that batch is different. So this is 56.3. Slanja. Okay. Sorry, I've just been like, oh, fuck. So I want to see what you guys are saying here. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me go back. Destiny says that Tabber Snooch is the quotable quote for the night. We need a cocktail called Tabber Snooch. All right, good night, Chris. Mark. I'm probably too late. These are probably already gone, but anyways. Going down. Okay, so I dropped that story there for everyone to look at. Maybe they're having a clearance sale and you can get them cheap. Maybe, but do I want them? I don't know which models they use Chinese steel on. And again, the thing is, it's not Chinese steel is bad. It's that if he was cost cutting, that Chinese steel will probably be about equal to the Gerber, the Bear Grylls knife that I like the handle of, but you know. Canadian says lies are not smart business. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. It's Trump's fault. Well, it's kind of a Trumpian way of going about your business. You know, drive it into the ground, lie about everything, and then close up shop. Homie says, I own 11 of them. None of mine are on the list, but who knows? Messed up the value. For sure. Absolutely. And as Tenenbaum says, I'm pretty sure that margins are very tight. Absolutely. I mean, their knives are expensive. They could charge a premium, but like the margins are probably still pretty tight. Homie, you have 11 of them? Like with what they're probably going for now, it would be an excellent time for me to pick one up if I could trust that it had, you know, the American steel. Probably best to just buy one used anyway, though. And I'm not really in the market. I've just always kind of thought that one day I would have one because they're iconic and they're very cool. They're very cool. A couple of times I've almost made a silly decision on bark rivers that they had at Bushcraft Canada because I was like, yep, that handle material is terrific. Better not, you know? But look, homie always got 11 of them, so he was clearly a fan of the brand. But like, how do you forgive something? I mean, I guess you don't. And you don't have to because they've closed up. I mean, the company's gone. They're probably going to be selling off their assets. It's very possible that, look, their knife designs are an asset. So someone like another company, maybe another big one, maybe or K-Bar or someone, or Becker, whatever, maybe someone will come in and buy up the IP, right? And then these knives will still be made under a different name, preferably with better steel, right? So it's possible that these knife designs aren't going to disappear, even though Bark River is. Can't raise prices, can't lower costs. No, the only way you can lower costs is by dropping options and models. You know, I mean, steel is steel, wood is wood. They're probably, because Because there's the thing, if they switch to cheap Chinese steel, they probably got tariffed up the wazoo as well, which probably just made it even worse, right? I mean, it wouldn't be the first American company to be disappearing right now due to tariffs, for sure. But I mean, that guy probably hasn't slept well in months. Yeah, unless you use a cheaper source of materials. But suddenly, some of those materials aren't actually cheaper, right? Yeah, and the economic conditions for a lot of small American companies right now are absolutely wrong. Yeah, but I mean, people do spend big money on Bark River, though. Although maybe the money had to be even bigger for them to turn a profit. If that guy's talking about mismanagement, he wasn't doing the books right. You know, you can drive a fabulous company into the ground without even working at it if you're not doing the books right. You know, like if you're incapable of doing the accounting. Yeah, and as David says, there are lots of options out there. Oh, Chris is out. Okay, well, Chris was out. I'm probably missing him, but anyways. So actually, it's a good thing that we're not discussing his book tonight if he had to leave early. Oh, excuse me. Chris is telling me it was 10. Yeah, I was a little late, but not that much. Tenenbaum says that given the brand reputation, that was a dumb move. Even if assembled in the USA, they should have been specific about the source of steel. Yeah, I agree. Because what they could have done was marketed like a budget line. Except no, because there's the thing, he was using Chinese steel, but still billing it as American steel. So that wasn't a budget line. So some people spent big money expecting the real deal and got shafted. David's out as well. Okay, good night. I probably missed him as well. Country Boy's having the last of his Taper Corn 101. That's such a good bottle. I got to get another one at some point. They hung on longer than Survive knives, for sure. And Survive was another one that I would have loved to have had one. They're 4-inch, you know. They're basic 4-inch, super cool. Little divot in the handle for, I thought they were really, really nice. But look, a lot of these guys aren't businessmen, right? You're sort of caught in this purgatory where guys who are good at making knives aren't necessarily any good at being marketers or business people, and the people who are good at being business are the types to question whether premium steel is worth it when you can use a slightly lower grade steel but still charge big because of brand recognition, right? I mean, but someone who's like a good businessman would not have made that decision, right? That's crooked. Made it. I know. I shudder. I no. I'm reluctant to say that's crooked. I was talking out of turn there because if the guy was just trying something desperate to save the company, then that's what it was. It was a stupid mistake, and I believe that this is a stupid mistake. I mean, I've been following Bark River for a long time. Nothing has given me any indication that he was crooked in any way. I'm just pissed off, you know. I'm just pissed off. It's coming right here. Both cases, great knives and terrible management. Because if you're a good knife maker, what you should do is partner with someone who has a head for business and has a head for keeping the books in the black, maintaining business relationships, marketing the crap out of your stuff. Not so much that you're doing too much business to keep the quality up, though, right? Like there's a real dance that goes on there to, to keep a successful company going. Yeah. I remember when Survive Knives imploded and what he was saying, and it's like, yeah, you needed a better business partner, But also, if you've built a knife brand up from nothing, you're going to be reluctant to bring on someone else who may not have the same appreciation for quality workmanship. That's why, it's almost like you have to start from the beginning. A partnership of a businessman and a creative genius who isn't afraid of handing off certain things to other people. Again, Tenenbaum is just saying that, a lot of these creative geniuses can't delegate. They have to be on top of everything. And the fact is, no, you should not be on top of everything. Make your frickin' knives. Have someone else keep the business going. Like, remember Battle Horse Knives? They want to, that was an acrimonious split of partners, or maybe not acrimonious, but one of them went off and made, what was it? LFT? LF, the one with the shitty logo of a little cabin. Called it his pout house. What the LFT knives? I don't know if I'm getting that right. I guess I'm just gonna have to start a knife company to fill in the space left over from Bark River. I still haven't been able to get that damned. Oh yeah, LT Wright. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, Blind Horse split into Battle Horse and LT Wright. Did Battle Horse last though? Yeah, I still haven't been able to get that that folder that I was looking at for my my Nesmith trio. It's like, guys, get it back into stock, will you? Pretty sure that's a Chinese steel knife. I mean, because if they're out of stock for this long, I feel that there might be a huge amount of knives stuck on a ship. I'm waiting for that stuff on screen to pop up here. Russell says, Ray's been my business partner for a long time. There's a guy you want running a business. I definitely pick that up from Ray for sure. Like in the way, I don't know him from Shinola, but just from seeing his approach in your videos, he seems really freaking capable. You think they're still around? LT Wright marketed a lot harder. Yeah, you saw LT Wright everywhere. Are they still around? Hold on. Why was I saying LFT knives? What is that? LT Wright knives. Yeah. That logo is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But that's the pout house there. And L2, these are nice knives as well. They're absolutely really. And they do like kitchen knives as well. Let me see here. Let me click on it. I feel that their prices are a little bit better than the Bark River prices were. They, if I remember correctly, they make sort of not a straight clone, but they make something very similar to the Groman number 4. Let me scroll a bit and see if I can find it. I may not be remembering the right company, though. I may be completely embarrassing myself right now. Yes. Large Northern Hunter. Hold on. Let me share this. Let me share this screen. Oh, you sold a blind horse pack horse. I do not remember that. Ray is definitely capable. Fitzy. Tenenbaum's got the link for a battle horse. Hold on 1 second. I want to just show this LT Wright. This is LT Wright's version of the Groman. And I will right click on what Tenenbaum has shared. Battle horse knives. Their logo is shite as well. Cool knives though. Wouldn't necessarily own many of them. Oh, they've got a little muck, a little Nesmic as well. A little mini Nesmic. That's cute. Their Maverick Colt looks like it's a it's almost a Kephart clone. Cool beans. I mean, it's nice that some of these sort of, I don't know if they're really premium makers, but some of these like small outfits are still around. Shawnee, how you doing? Welcome to the fun stuff. We're just we're all pissed off at a knife company, and we're all enjoying the fact that I'm here with you guys, even though I'm too tired. I want to go back to this. I think you had a lot of knives. There will be other knives, but I would have liked to have seen that. Did it go for a lot of money? Did you sell that one for a tidy sum, as nobody says anymore? But yes, money can be exchanged for goods and services for sure. I'd be good at reviewing logos. I have designed enough logos in my professional life that I think a good logo is very important. That, like, as far as knife makers go, my favorite logo is the one on the Jacklore. That's a fabulous logo. It's absolutely fabulous. Hold on. I'll go to this website and I'll share it. Because it immediately tells you where his knives are from. I shall now share it in here. That horse on the Jacklore logo is very famous. I would use a different font than he did. I don't like serif fonts for logos. Or, no. A sans serif is virtually always the better choice. In some cases, this is not true, and I would not have used a serif font for the Jacklore. But aside from that, I think it's a fabulous logo. You still have many knives, and yes, that one fetched a different. Yeah, I can't afford anything that you've sold. I don't think. I may be misremembering that, but you have some relatively premium steel that I shudder to think. No, I don't shudder to think what they would cost. I know what they cost. I've seen your prices, but you know, some very nice stuff. Some very nice stuff. But yeah, the LT Wright logo is terrible. Let me just go to Bushcraft Canada for a sec, because that guy has stock that he might be holding the bag on. Bark River, by the way, had a terrible logo as well. Yeah, it's like he can't give special pricing right? Because he's already bought these knives. Like, for instance, let's just pretend for a second that I'm in charge of Bark River. I just took over the company and I'm trying to save it, right? I'm going to discontinue the squad leader. I'll probably discontinue the Mike Stewart Bowie. I'll keep the Fox River. I'll keep the Gunny, right? Bravo Necker. Yeah, keep it. You got to keep a Necker around, but I'm going to discontinue anything that's a kitchen knife. Getting rid of the Strike Force. Yeah, I'm just looking at like anything that's like I'll probably keep the Nesmik around because everyone wants, well, not everyone wants a Nesmik, but I mean it's an iconic thing. You won't have trouble selling a Nesmik. But that's it. I would keep the Fox River, the Gunny, that Nesmik, and the Necker, and that's about it. That's about it. Got to keep the Bushcrafter LT though, right? Probably big fans for the Bravo Survivor, but how many do they sell? That's the thing. Like how many of this do you sell? How many of that do you sell? Right? Like they got that sort of the thing that looks a little bit like a really really tiny katana, right? What's it called? Do they have it here? Kitsune. How many of those did they sell? Tenenbaum was always after a Bark River in a stainless steel without a thumb ramp. They exist, but I never managed to get one. Everything either had a thumb ramp or was something more tarnishable. Yeah, I kind of feel that the thumb ramp was kind of an identity thing, maybe. Oops, sorry. Chrissy says, Steve has an ad on the TV, but I've not had one since I stated I had 3 in 12 minutes. Well, I'm glad that they just front-loaded them, and now you're not dealing with them then. Yeah, now that you've jinxed it. Whoops. Look, it's easy for me to come up with ways that I would have saved Bark River, but I mean... it probably wouldn't have done anything, right? Like if he's at the point where he's lying about where the steel is coming from, there's probably nothing that's gonna save it at that point. Oh, I'd forgotten about the pig sticker. Yeah, they got a Kephart. I almost bought one of their Kepharts several times, but like they're like 340 Canadian dollars, right? You know. Russell says, I bought a paring knife that came with a sheath with a sharpener built in. I thought great, but after the thing lost its factory edge, it just won't sharpen, neither by sheath nor kitchen sharpener. That's interesting. Who's it by? Then he bought another, I bought another paring knife that seems fine, but the blade is 3.5 inches and it seems just slightly too short. Like it won't go all the way through some beefsteak tomatoes. But like a paring knife is supposed to be small. So here, look at this. It sold out, but it doesn't matter because now I would be afraid to buy it. Hold on, let me share this. Share the screen. Before I share this, this is Canadian pricing, okay, peeps? So like in a Montreal minute. Absolutely. But I mean, it's $370 Canadian. Look, mosaic pins. I mean, that's an upcharge right there, but like, come on. Why wouldn't you want that Nesmic? CPM 3V. I need to find out which models they were lying about. That's what I need to do, because I mean, in some ways this is probably an excellent time to be looking at a Bark River, but what if I make an expensive mistake? Right? Yes. Pairing, not pairing. Excuse me. Homie, which models were they talking about? Oh. Several of its models, even though the knives were labeled and marketed as CPM 154 steel and made in the USA. Let me see. Okay, no, that's CPM 3V. The one I just showed you is CPM 3V. Okay. So apparently they have a Bark River sale right now, so they're probably trying to off gas some stuff, but I don't see. Oh, I'm not seeing sale prices because all these knives are sold out. Oh, do you think that that Bushcraft Canada took all the Bark Rivers off? Wait. Sorry, I thought I saw like sale banners. On sale. So what they have on sale is a bunch of Bushcrafter LTs in 3V. That's it. Everything else is sold out. Oh, no, those are sold out too. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Bushcraft Canada has removed all their unsold inventory from the website for fear of selling something that's going to be... Oh, no. I'm going to bet you... Let me share this screen. Right? It said CPM 154, right? So like this might be one of them, right? CPM 154. So like it's probably none of these, right? That one's 3V. So this is probably one of them. But like fudge, man, at $370, if you get cheap Chinese steel, you're gonna be angry about it, because that's an expensive mistake for sure. This is terrible news. This is awful. This is angry making. Is anger making a real term? No. But just go with me on this one, okay? I'm feeling hurt. Oh, yeah. Tenenbaum just shared a picture of the... I'm pretty sure that's the knife he sold. Wow, that's nice. That's very nice. It's a very nice knife. You like that purple-handled one? Yeah. But hey, not gonna... Well, let's go back. Let's go back now. That type. That's the purple handled one there. The necker too. That Fox River looks nice too. They charged too much to get away with this shit. To get away with this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like they're not the only ones in the world. It's as David said, it's a very competitive world out there, right? I mean, you've got Condor coming in at the low end, right? We Essie, that's sort of in the same range as Barker, but like the prices are a little more reasonable, right? I don't really look at TRC very much because they're all sort of more survivally. But come on, Castrum. I mean, if I'm going to be spending Park Rivers kind of money, that Castrum Lars Felt, yes, please, absolutely. And that specific one too, with the curly birch handle and the fire steel. That's not a fire steel. It's a ferro rod. Shut up. I love those Castrum Lars Felt knives. Brisa, that's a Scandinavian company. Kephart, curly birch, yeah, nice. One day I'm going to get a nice Kephart, absolutely. I feel like it must happen. And I want it to have a wooden handle because it's an old style, so I want it to have like I don't want it to have like a I don't know, micarta handle or anything like that. I was totally blanking for a minute there, people. I don't know a damn thing about Joker. They're suddenly everywhere. I know that they're not brand new, but I don't know anything about them. I like a lot of what Helda makes, but I don't want a rat tail tang on something as expensive as Helda charges. You know, there's another Lars Felt. So nice. And of course, I do love me some Feldkniven. So the Lars Felt knife by Castrum is a number 10, just with changes made in conjunction with Lars Felt. It's essentially a number 10. Yeah, I don't know anything about Joker. I know several people who have Jokers. They look pretty damn good, and the prices are fabulous compared to what we're used to seeing, you know? BPS, that's a Ukrainian company. I have a BPS. I did a review of it. For the price, they're practically unbeatable. There's a Joker Nesmic. Oh, in olive wood. Whew. Can't eat olives, but I do love olive wood. That right there, the B1 is the one I have, I think. I mean, I'm just sort of, look, I'm not just doing this to like, oh, I'm looking at knives on your dime or anything, on your time. Sorry. Well, it's just to show that, like, Bark River has disappeared, but it's not the end of the world for people who like knives. It's just, it sucks for people who insist on Made in America. Because that's a Made in America branded, like that company, part of its identity was we're American made, we're American from stem to stern. And there isn't a lot of stuff made in America, to be straight. Small companies putting out knives and axes is one thing, but you know, the era of American manufacturing is gone. It's over, and it's probably never coming back. I mean, we're not doing that much better in Canada, right? Like, it's not like we have a huge manufacturing industry up here either. You know, so that's not me, like, you know, ditching on my American cousins or anything. It's just, there's a lot of knives, and they're coming from a lot of different countries now, right? Hold on a second. Let me just, okay, so Russell says, so are we looking at phony knives? Well, I wouldn't say that the Bark Rivers are phony knives, but I mean, a whole bunch of them are using the wrong steel. like not the steel that they were marketed as. And this means that I'm not going to miss that company, even though we're only talking about some models, and they were probably still putting out good knives on all the other models. To me, the entire company is poisoned now. There's a list of affected models, if you believe Mr. Stewart. I see no reason to not believe that, except that he freaking lied about where his steel was coming from. This is the list. Mini Manitou, last 2 club knives, Camp Polo. Yeah, none of those are what I would have bought anyway. None of these are their main line knives, right? None of these are the ones that like that is the Bark River, look or whatever. So I mean, I think part of him thought he was going to get away with it. But Raspberry Rock says my favorite knife lives in my pocket. Oh wait, that's not a knife. That's not a knife. There's the Apocalypse Prime with a price to match. I mean, this doesn't affect my life. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not the one who drove my company into the dirt, and I don't even own one. So I there is no part of me that's like, oh my God, did I make an expensive mistake? Do you know anything? It's just, I mean, losing this big a player might mean that other players can raise their prices because Bark River would have been huge competition, and now they're gone, right? And we already spend too much on our gear. And part of that is it's just a function of it costs a lot of money to put out good gear, right? But part of it is also, like Bark River could charge essentially what they wanted because practically everyone's got one, right? They're like the Rickenbacker of the knife world, right? Rickenbacker can charge whatever they want on their bases and their guitars, I think, because everyone they make, they know is sold as soon as it leaves the factory. Which is why Rickenbackers, it's a production base. They're not a huge company, but they're production bases that are selling for almost custom job prices because they can, And I think that without Bark River around kind of doing that themselves, actually, who's to say that, LT Wright and Battle Horse and all these, I'm thinking it's specifically of the American players because it's a very special market, right? Because Americans want made in the USA. And right now no one else does. But I mean, like that's going to, I might be crying wolf here. There's a possibility that the other American makers can raise their prices a little bit because they're freer to do that without these guys, like without as many players in the market. And I'm absolutely removing the, I think it was the Gunny I had on my someday list. No, forget it, because now I don't know. Because of what Tenenbaum said, if you believe Mr. Stewart, these are the following are the models that are affected. But what if there are others that he just didn't admit to, right? Russell says, so I was watching this video about this Japanese restaurant downtown Toronto. One of the chefs was using a sword to butcher fish. Blade was about 2 feet long. Yeah, that's called a it's a fish butchering knife. I mean, they're made for like tunas and stuff, but yeah, they do look like swords for sure. I don't remember what they're called. Tenenbaum says, Joker is one of those many Spanish brands. Right. The prices always look good and the designs are often nice. I don't know about the steels. I mean, I'm afraid to pick up a brand that I don't know massively, you know, especially because, I mean, Joker, the prices are pretty good, but they're not like Condor good. Even Condor is not quite as good as it used to be, but you know what I'm saying? Like the prices are not good enough that I can just pick one up, you know, just randomly, just to see how it is, you know. Like those BPS, I could probably pick up any BPS I want just to see if they're all as good as my whatever it's called, B1, I think. I don't understand restaurant pricing anymore. Ray and I stopped in A&W yesterday. 2 burgers, drink, sweet potato fries, $28. Yeah, A&W ain't as cheap as it used to be. It's still my favorite of the burger joint. No, Harvey's is my favorite, but I think there are only 2 Harvey's in Montreal. I shall open another Tenenbaum link in a Albacete knives have been known since the 15th century and are now recognized worldwide by cutlery lovers and collectors. So how come I've never heard of them? Aceros de Hispania. These knives look... Oh, okay. Hold on. This is Joker. Joker. So is Albacete... Are they the ones who make Jokers? Goodman. That looks like a little mini sword. Nieto. Another Joker. J&V. Don't know anything about that. Joker. More Joker. Nieto. Wow, some of these look really nice. But like 55 euros becomes like 80 Canadian dollars, right? Some of these look stupid though. Tenenbaum says that link breaks for me on Chrome and works on MS Edge. Russell says most people wouldn't know the difference in steel, including me. But okay, fair. But would you spend $400 on a Bark River knife? Or for $400, would you rather buy like a Groman, a bottle of whiskey, and another bottle of whiskey, and a 2-4? Like, I feel that the people who spend the big money on the Bark Rivers, look, if you're from New York or Minnesota, there's nothing wrong with saying, man, it's made in the USA. Yeah. It's like me being like, yes, it's made in Canada, or yes, it's made in the UK. I will spend the extra on that. Right? And I will gladly, like I'm talking like, you know, both of my bases are American made, right? I spent the massive upcharge on an American made fender. And my Sadowski, okay, it's a custom, but I mean, they're based in New York City, right? I mean, there's an element of there's an expectation you have when something is made in North America or in Europe, that you're getting premium materials, and one would say premium workmanship in terms of the fender base. There's this whole sort of thing in the bass player community, probably guitar as well, but I'm not in the guitar community, of like, you know, Fender USA versus Fender Mexico is like Mexicans building it in Mexico or Mexicans building it in California kind of thing. But at the end of the day, if you spend the upcharge on an American made something, or Canadian made, or British or French made something, you know, because the Leguiole knives, if you get like a real from the region, you're spending some money. There's an expectation of the steel. There's an expectation of the finishing, the quality of workmanship. And there's an expectation that the made in part stamped on the blade is true. that if the claim is all American or, made in the USA or made in Canada or whatever, and you're marketing it as American steel or Canadian, whatever, that for the price, at least they're not lying about it. This is what I mean. How long can A&W stay in business at that price point? Who's going to pay that for fast food? Because McDonald's ain't a whole lot cheaper. They're all much more expensive than they used to be. Absolutely. I buy my family supper at A&W a lot. Like Fridays are our order in night, and sometimes we do Chinese or Indian or whatever, but we do A&W a fair amount. Sometimes we do a sort of a more premium burger like Notre Dame de Boeuf, but Notre Boeuf de Grasse. It's something based on. It's a play on the borough name of NDG. But we do buy A&W relatively often. Uncle Burger, sweet potato fries, or a teen burger or whatever. Those of you in the States will probably have different titles because they're not the same company. But, gas prices are crazy. Diesel. Yeah, I'm spending almost $2 a liter right now. Which I hate, but behind that there are a lot of people dying. So it's hard for me to bitch and moan about the gas price when there are corpses involved, But yeah. You and Ray did. Yeah, that's true. Russell says, it's a good question. I've watched my beloved Subway slowly screw the customer for pennies, switching from a decent napkin to cheap one-ply crap, then shitty tomatoes, cheaper sauce. Oh, yeah. I went into a Subway for the first time in months recently, and between the smaller array of bread choices to it's more expensive, it feels, and the choices are shittier. And this is all it's all in shittification, right? Sorry. Shitty time menu, noticed that for sure. Came out with a whole new list just so they could raise their prices without it looking like they raised their prices. Absolutely. I feel for the little guy. There's a great food truck here that sells a burger for about 100 Swedish crowns now. That's about $10 US or maybe 14 Canadian. For Sweden, that's not too bad. Yeah. Problem is I can buy 3 loaves of bread for that. Yeah, I get that. I never do that equation though when I'm buying in a restaurant because I'm paying for someone else to make the food, and I'm paying for them to pay their electricity bills and their staff, and so I don't have the expectation that a burger at A&W or at Notre Boeuf de Grasse is going to cost the same as a burger I make in my home, for sure. But man, 500 mils of Dr. Pepper at Subway, $3.25, 6-pack of $7.50 at No Frills, $6. Yeah, absolutely. But again, Albacete are a great place. Those are all the brands. Okay, so Albacete it's a retailer. It's not a knife maker. Raspberry. Most I spent on a knife was I think $2.75-ish on a Feldknieven S1. Feldknieven I do love. They're not cheap, but they're not like on the most. They're not on the expensive end of the spectrum. Well, they've got a couple of big ticket knives, but if you're basic, F1 or whatever, it's not that far beyond the pale, for sure. Very basic knives, but there's something about them that I just love. It's like Maniago in Italy, a traditional knife-making town that now hosts several brands. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Fitzia has spent that amount on a decent bra. It had fabulous support. Think flying buttresses. Well worth the price. That's not awkward at all. I don't think we should have the word butt anywhere near a discussion about bras. He said, just extending the awkward. Magyo knife makers. So these are like the brands they sell as well. Fixed blade knives, folding knives. I wonder if they would sell a moose pattern. No, these are folding knives, not. Wow. Some of these are expensive as hell. Steve Ground says, for $400 I get a buck knife and a barrel of rum and have money left. You could not afford a barrel of rum for $400. I have never owned a buck. My father-in-law has a buck that he's had forever. I think my problem is I keep seeing, like in my mind's eye, to me the buck knife is always that kind of almost a Rambo knife. I know that they also sell many other styles now, but because of what buck is in my head, I never look at buck for a knife. That's talking about uplifting, of course. Of course. Okay, that last comment probably went to hold for review, so I better go to bed. Good night, y'all. Destiny, we're almost done. There are 7 minutes left. Steve Ground is grounding us all. Oh man, Russell's in fine form all of a sudden. Russell says frozen burgers in a frying pan, brioche bun, your own select toppings. Hard to beat that. Brioche bun is a nice touch, actually, for sure. Yep. Lots of bacon. Russell does like a good bacon and mushroom burgers. Not a retailer, a city. Okay. Yeah. How are we on the burger conversation all of a sudden? 6 minutes left. Destiny left too early. We were coming down the home stretch. You know what I'm saying? Coming down the home stretch. She abandoned us. Abandoned. Ooh, my Apple Watch is charged. Tenenbaum says, I wish I could remember what I paid for my first real fixed blade knife. $1.19 at Canadian Tire. It would not have been much. It was like 1989. So like, if it was 89, I'm thinking like $20-25, right? Which would have been like, and then in the early 2000s would have been like 65 probably, and now might be 80. Because, the ones you buy at Canadian Tire are nowhere near like a high-end knife. We do tend to merge to food talk a lot, for sure. What the hell is VG Wolf? Look at this. I keep looking at F1s because I want a second one, even though there's no reason. It's just I want one in a different steel. So, like, what the hell is VG Wolf? And what the hell is NEZ? Like a NEZ sheath? What's... Given a steel makeover, the timeless classic of bushcraft knives, the F1. Absolutely, it's iconic. Now it's the new laminated VG Wolf steel and the new F1 NEZ sheath. 8 years to design and perfect. One of the best bushcraft survival... Absolutely, but... New version has the VG Wolf edge wrapped in 420 J2 stainless jacket, giving you the best of both worlds. The keen and tough high tungsten VG Wolf edge also has a superb... Okay, but... Full convex, very standard for the F1. Yeah. And the new locking sheath. It's a lot of money. It's $235 Canadian, right? Christy says Irish nachos. 'Tis the season. March isn't over. I do not even know what Irish nachos are. Oh, is Paul out? All right, good night. Good night, Paul. Yes. I just saw the mention of tungsten. So does that count as a super steel? I do kind of want that knife. I should not have done that. I should not have looked at that. So look, since we've only got 3 minutes left, anyone who is still with us and is planning to read Chris's book, read it by next week, and we'll talk about it next week. Okay? Yes. Falcon even F1 VG Wolf with Nez sheath. Makes no sense. I'm not even getting into the woods right now. So why am I even... I do kind of want it though. Tungsten is a great word. Okay. Fair enough. Dram is done. Yes, I see where you were going there. Tungsten, yes. Wolfram. And so this the NEZ or NEZ or whatever, that's the new locking sheath with that little thumb thing. Right? I'll look at the pictures later, but I think that's what they are. Can't do it. I got to go to bed by midnight, and I still have things. I still have to do the damn dishes upstairs. I always for missing last week. I was too busy rocking and reeling. Tenenbaum, like, so is this VG Wolf? Like, do you know anything about it? Is it like a super steel? Is it a good option steel wise? Man, the Falcon even like some of their stacked birch or stacked leather handled knives are just, but like fucking hell, the money. Like this one, this gives me the fizz, but that price is crazy. Right? Like 512 Canadian dollars? Nope. So nice though. Yeah, for years it was all VG10. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, they started playing around with like super steels and stuff in recent years, for sure. And now they keep trying new stuff. Like for the price, if it's a good steel, great. These blades are too short. Yeah, this NL5L I believe it's like a 3 and something. Doesn't say. 100 millimeters. Finger guard, stainless steel. We want 4 inches or revolt. Yeah, 4 inches is definitely my favorite blade length as well. It is now 23 o'clock, 2300, 20, whatever. 23 hours. So I'm going to shut her down, and I will see you all next week. And between now and next week, I would love it if all of you, each one of you, every single damn one of you, all 9 of you who are still hanging with me, to have a good week. And between now and next week, please be safe, be healthy, be sane, and be kind to one another. Good night, all.